maybe a little louder? You're a little.
Yes, sure, you bet. How's this?
That's better.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks everybody for having me on the call. As April mentioned, I'm from corporate, so I work in the office. My name is Ryan Baltz. I'm Senior Director of Digital. My role primarily is to build out our digital tools. So the app being one of those is what I'm here to talk about today. I'm going to give a full demonstration of the app with every feature inside of it. So it will take about 50 minutes. So bear with me. There's a lot to follow, but I believe this is being recorded, so you'll have that to go back on to reference. Just a bit of the background to this app. So I joined Lifevantage 2 years ago, and my role was primarily initially to build out this app. If you recall back at that time, we had 4 different apps, each that did a little bit different, each covered a little different functionality. And the reason we had those 4 apps is because we truly believe that technology is a key differentiator in our business. We believe that if we arm the field with the right tools, technological tools, it will help them exponentially grow their business. So 2 years ago, we had 4 different apps. It's because we wanted a lot of different functionality, and we had to partner with 4 different companies to get all of that. However, we realized at the time that that wasn't ideal to have 4 apps. Furthermore, the culmination of those 4 apps didn't give us still all of the features that we wanted to offer. So 2 years ago, we made the decision and we made the investment to start building our own app in-house. And that's what we've been doing for the past 2 years. Now, we launched the app in May. Part of launching a new app like that, like the one we've launched, is it has a lot of new technology, a lot of new features. It's custom built. So part of the nature of software like that is that there are some bumps along the road initially. So there have been some bugs, and I want to thank each and every one of you for having gone through those and stuck with it despite of those. At this point now, we are definitely in a stable point. The app is behaving, as predicted. There's a lot of great functionality in there. We have just over 17,000 users. But I understand that, and we understand that with that new technology comes a steep learning curve. All the features in the app are the first of their kind. So obviously, there's a bit of education that needs to take place on behalf of the users. So that's why I'm here today. So I'm going to get started. Let's save any questions until the end. And yeah, I'll go ahead and kick this off. So give me just one moment. I'm going to share my phone screen with you. Moment. Okay, can everybody see my phone screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so let's get started. As you can see from this screen here, if you have downloaded the app, up in the upper right there, the blue square with the white plus sign says Lifevantage below it. That is the icon for our app. So I'll go ahead and tap that to open it. Now, I assume most people on this call have downloaded the app, so I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about how to get it, but if you don't have it yet, go to the App Store for Apple or the Google Play Store, search for Lifevantage, and it will be the first app that appears. Once you have downloaded and installed the app and you open it, you'll be asked for a username and password. Your username is your Lifevantage ID, and your password is your Lifevantage password. So this is a screen that you'll arrive to when you first log into the app. Now, I've configured my the version of the app I'm going to use for the demo today to act as I'm a brand new user. So when you first log into the app, you're brought to this screen, which we refer to as the deck. It's the main user interface of the app. It's designed to look like a deck of cards and to look and work like a deck of cards. And the reason we did that is because we wanted a quick way for users to be able to scroll through a lot of different steps. The main benefit of this app is to always let you know what to do next in your business and to help you follow up with contacts. So I'll show you how the deck of cards design allows you to do that. Initially, when everybody logs in, they're all dealt the same hand of cards, so to speak. So there are 11 of those. The first one being this introduction video from Darren. The way you move from one card to the next is you swipe up to go to the next card. You swipe down to go to the previous card. So the first hand of cards, as I mentioned, is a mix of training videos and cards that prompt you to add content, because adding contacts to the app is what really gives it legs. So I'll just go through a couple of these cards to show you an example of that. Here, this one is asking you to add health-conscious contacts. This one is a training video on the concept of icebreakers. This one is another training video, another training video, and now this card is asking you to add 5 business-minded contacts. Now, the way you get more cards in your deck is by adding contacts, because once you add them, the app will tell you what to do next with those contacts through the cards. So a bit of information, general information on how cards work. Each card will have a green button, the action button. So in this case, it's the big green button that says OK. In some cases, it'll say watch or do it or go, but it will always be a green button. And that button, when you tap on it, will take you to do whatever the card is asking you to do. So in this case, it will take you to the screen to add contacts. In this case, it will launch the video for you to watch. Each card also has a snooze button just to the left of the action button. So it's the gray button that says snooze. If you tap on that, you have some options. So if you tap on it, you get these 3 options. The first being, I'll do this later. This option works exactly like a typical snooze feature would. If you select it, the card will disappear and it will reappear 24 hours later in your deck. The next 2 options, there's a slight difference in terms of how the app processes them. But let's just say for the sake of this demo, they both do the same thing, which is get rid of a card. So if a card appears and you don't want to do this, or if you've already done it, then just go ahead and tap those options and the card will disappear completely and won't come back.
I don't know, some guy that knows Bob Policastro from Angela's house, because I used to do webinars.
Somebody press mute. I'm getting thank you. Okay, then the last option is cancel, which gets rid of those options and goes back to the card. Another thing about cards in general is if you see on this card down at the bottom where it says how to add business-minded contacts in blue text, those are what we call helper text links. Now, what those are is they're helpful pointers that tell you what's going on in the app at that time. So when you tap on those, a very brief video, 1 to 2 minutes will appear, and it will give you a little more information as to why the app is asking you to do what it is, and in some cases, a little information on how to do it. So that's kind of like a persistent help tool available to you throughout the app. So that's cards in general. Let's move on and let's go ahead and demonstrate how to add a contact. So there are several ways to add contacts in the app, but let's use this one here where the card is asking you to add 5 business-minded contacts. Now, as I mentioned before, other cards similar to this will ask you to add health conscious or supporter contacts. What it's basically doing is implementing the memory jogger exercise in order to help you build a list of prospects. So let's tap OK. Once you tap OK, you're brought to this screen. It's telling me that I've added 0 of the 5 it's asking me to add. So I tap Add Contact, and you have these 2 options. The first option, import from contacts. This allows you to copy a contact straight from your phone or your device address book into the app. Now, we do not allow you to copy all of your contacts at one time into the app. And the reason is intentional there. We've designed it that way so that we don't want users creating giant lists of contacts in the app with the tap of a single button. And then by nature of how the app allows you to communicate with people, we don't want you to then just be able to tap another button and send out a message to all those people. That would be considered spam, and it gives the app and the users a bad name. Furthermore, this app is not designed to be a mass communication tool. It's designed to be much more of a deliberate, mindful method of communicating with contacts in a productive manner. So we do allow you to copy them from your device, but only one at a time by tapping import from contacts. Below that, add manually. If you tap on that option, you will enter all of the information for that contact into the app itself. So for the sake of this demo, I'm going to say I'm importing from contacts. I'm going to allow the app to access my contacts. And I'm going to, sorry to pick on you, Herbert, but Jill said I would be able to use you as a bit of a guinea pig on this call. So I just searched for Herbert. I'll tap on his contact information, and now I'm brought to the contact screen within the app. So as you can see, his first name and last name is there, his mobile number. If I had an email address for him in my phone address book, it would have copied over. I don't. So I'm just going to put a fake one in at this point. So I'm going to say it's Herbert at herbert.com. Okay. Now, if you only have a phone number or an email address, meaning you don't have both of them, that's fine. You don't need to add both into the app. You can just add one or the other. But if you do add both, you'll get this option under the basic info where it says send message to. You can see there's mobile and email. Now, this is how you select how you want to communicate with that contact. So if you were to say send messages to mobile, every message I send to Herbert from the app will go via text message. If I say send messages to email, every message I send from the app will go out via email. Now, we do this because we assume that most people like to be communicated with the same way. If somebody prefers text, you're going to want text. If somebody who prefers email, you're going to want email. You can change this at any point by going into the content card, editing it, and changing the here. Or you can also change it within a given message, so on a per message basis. And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Below send messages to, you have interest level. This is very important. So I'm going to say that Herbert prefers text. I'm going to say when I open up interest level, I have these 5 options. Now, these are important because depending on which one of these I select for Herbert, the app is going to behave differently and tell me a different way to follow up with them. What I mean specifically is if I say Herbert is ready to enroll and I save the contact, I'll then get a card in my deck that says Herbert is ready to enroll. Let's share an enrollment link with him. If I say that he's ready to purchase, I'll get a card in my deck that says Herbert is ready to purchase. Let's fill out a cart and share it with him. The third option, interested but not ready yet. This is what we assume the majority of contacts being added into the app are going to fall into this category. It's a true prospect. It's somebody who they're not ready to enroll yet, not quite ready to purchase, but they're interested and they want to learn more. And when you select that option, you're going to get a card in your deck that suggests you that you share a video with them. So in this case, because it's where we assume the majority of contacts are going to be, it's also the default. So if you were to add a contact and not select an interest level, the app would assume that they're interested but not ready yet. The next two options, not interested now and not interested at all, both of them work like somewhat of a back burner setting. So you won't immediately get a card in the deck telling you to follow up with them. Instead, there'll be a bit of a delay. So in the case of not interested now, after a couple of weeks, you'll get a card in the deck that says, let's reach back out to Herbert, see maybe if his interests have changed. And in the case of not interested at all, that card will appear after a couple of months. So I'm going to say that Herbert is interested but not ready yet. Then below that, where it says show advanced info, if you tap on that, you get some more options. The first being type. Now, this setting is strictly optional. You don't need to do it, but some people like to organize their contacts into these categories. Helps to remind them of what the contact might be interested in. So you can select health conscious or business minded or supporter. And again, that's strictly optional now. So I'll say that Herbert is health conscious. Under interest, this is important as well. So if I tap add interest, I get these options. Now the first being business or the opportunity. Second being pro tandem, true science, and all the way through the product categories, all the way to pet tandem. Now, just like with the interest level, there's also a default interest. If you were to not select an interest, the app would assume that they're interested in the business, in the opportunity. And therefore, that's how the app knows which video to suggest you share with them. So in this case, if I were to say Herbert is interested but not ready yet, and he's interested in the business, I would get a card in my deck that says Herbert's interested. Let's share the new animated prospecting video with him. If I were to say that actually Herbert is interested in pro tandem, the card would suggest that I share the pro tandem product video with him. So let's say that Herbert is interested in pro tandem, and you can also add multiple interests. So I'm going to say he's also interested in true science. And what that will do when I add multiple interests, I'll get multiple cards in the deck for Herbert. The first will suggest I share the pro tandem video. The second will suggest I share the true science video. So I'll add both of those. Then below that, address and notes are also optional. Some people like to include all the information for a contact in one place. And if you do prefer to work that way, you can absolutely add in all this information, but it's not required. So I'm going to go with the information I have. I filled out everything for Herbert, and I'm going to tap add in the upper right. Now, once I do that, I get a couple of questions. These questions have just recently been implemented in the app within the last couple of months. And these questions have to do with privacy and anti-spam laws that are being implemented now throughout the world. It started in Europe. If anybody on the call has heard of GDPR, and because this app is international, we're launching it in all of our markets. And it's currently live in Canada and Australia, which have very similar laws to the European Union. So we had to make some changes to the app in order to launch in those markets. Furthermore, our legal team feels that these laws will definitely be coming to the U.S. Within the next year or so. So we felt it was prudent to go ahead and make these changes on a global level and put them in all markets of the app. Now, this also allows us to kind of help encourage a best practice for usage within the app. And that best practice is that you cannot, this app should not be used as a cold calling tool. It should be used as a way to communicate with people whom you've already established a relationship or at least contact with. So a bit about these next couple of questions. They're actually modeled after the Canadian anti-spam and privacy laws, which state that you can use an app like the Lifevantage app to communicate with contacts if you either A, know them personally, or B, have been referred to them by a third party who knows both of you. And then the law states that you have to include the first and last name of that third party in the first message to the person. So let me show you how that looks in the app. Now, again, if you think back, I just tapped the option to save Herbert's contact information. And now the app is asking me, do I know Herbert personally? If I select yes and tap save in the upper right, I will be able to, his contact information will be saved and I'll be able to communicate with him with no problems in the app. If I say I don't know Herbert personally, then these next two, this next question appears and it says, who introduced the two of you? I'm going to say, I'm just making up a name here. I have to enter first and last name. Just say William. Okay. Once I get that, I tap save. And now Herbert's contact information is saved and I'm free to proceed communicating with him through the app. Now what happened there was when I added in the name William as the person who referred me to Herbert, it saved that name under Herbert's contact information because it will use that refer name when I go to send the first message to Herbert. So I'll show you that in just a moment. But now that I've added that, it says, okay, great. I've added one out of the 5 business-minded contacts it's asking me to add. So I can tap add contact to add more, but I'm not going to do that for this demo because it's the same process. So what I'll do now is move on and I'll show you where the new card is now that appeared in the deck once I added Herbert. If you notice down on the lower left where it says deck and there's a red bubble with a white 2 in there, that's letting me know I have 2 new cards. And I'll show you those 2 new cards now. So if I scroll up, it will be in the back of the deck now. And here we are. Here's the first one. It says, it's time to share a video with Herbert. Share the nutrigenomics intro. Now that's the Pro Tandem video because if you look down below where it says today, December 1st, I added Herbert with an interest as Pro Tandem. Now, you'll also notice in this card in the upper left, there's a red dot, and that's how I know that this is one of the 2 new cards I have. If I scroll to the next one, here's the other new card, and it's telling me to share the True Science product video with Herbert because I said he was also interested in True Science. So let's go ahead and show you what it's like to go ahead and share a video with him. So if I tap continue here, actually one more thing quickly, you'll notice where I said below December 1st, Herbert has an interest in True Science. That's information that wasn't on the previous cards. And what that is we refer to that as the third rail. Whenever the deck of cards is asking you to follow up with a certain contact, it will include the last activity with that contact in that third rail. So that's a good way of knowing when you go to reach out to somebody, it's a good way to know, okay, last time we talked or last thing that happened with this contact was their interest changed or I added them as a contact or I sent a message to them. Other cards you'll get in the deck as you start using this app, some cards will tell you you have a new customer, or some cards will tell you you have a customer that has an order dropping soon. So when you get those and it's specific to a person, you look down on that third rail and that will kind of remind you what has happened in the recent past with that contact. So I'm going to tap continue here. Now, when I tap continue, this is what we call the message composer. So if you see at the beginning where it says, hello, Herbert, this is Brian Baltz, our mutual friend William gave me your name. Now, if you remember back to when I was talking to about the privacy laws, and I said that you had to include the first and last name of the person who referred you in the first message to a contact who you don't know personally, that's what this is doing here. So it's in a lighter color font. It's in kind of gray, which is to indicate to the user that you can't edit that part because, again, by law, it has to go out that way. So there's that first part of the message, and that will only go out to the very first message I send to Herbert or any contact I don't know personally. And below Below that, it says, Herbert, our researchers discovered that there are benefits to activating the NRF2 pathway from the outside in too. The skincare regimen is called True Science, is incredible. I think you'll like this short video. So anytime that the app suggests that you send a message to somebody, we've included these pre-written scripts for you. Now, you can change them however you want, or you can use them as they are. I'm just going to delete this last sentence to show you how you can edit it. If you, at any point, if you want to know, if you forgot what video you're sending to somebody, or you want to know some more detail on what exactly you're sharing, the white bar in the middle with the send button on the right of it, if you tap on that, the keyboard will disappear and you'll see the video. So in this case, you can see the thumbnail video. It's the True Science product video. And then on the left in the blue text where it says watch video, you can tap on that to watch the video yourself. Now, remember earlier what I mentioned, that if you want to change the method of contact within a message, you can do that. And the way you do that is up top where it has Herbert's initials, HH, in that blue circle. If you tap on that, this screen comes up. And now I can say, okay, I did say Herbert was a mobile or a texting contact, but this message I actually want to send via email. So I just select the option below it, and it will change the way I communicate with Herbert only for this message. After this message is sent, it will go back and assume that he wants text. Let's assume we've got everything in here, and I'm going to go ahead and send this message now. Now it's letting me know, okay, great, I've shared the video, it's on its way. I tap continue to go to the next card. Now, what will happen is once Herbert watched that video, I'll get a new card on my deck letting me know that it's time to follow up with him. If he doesn't watch the video within 24 hours, I'll get a card on my deck letting me know it's time to remind him to watch the video. So now that we've given it a minute, I'm going to ask for Herbert to help out for just a minute here and let me know you've received that.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Ryan, I have the video, and it says exactly what you said there. Our mutual friend, William, gave me your name. Our researchers discovered that there are benefits to activating the NRF2 pathway, and the excuse me, and the link is there. And it says, by the way, it's me, Ryan Baltz. This is a text-only number for my business. Add it to my contacts so you know it's me.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, the reason I asked you to read that message is for that last part there, which says, by the way, it's me. This is a text-only number I use for business. Save it under my contacts so you know it's me. The reason why we include that in the message, for those of you who have been using the app, you've noticed that when you send a text message from the app, it doesn't come from your phone number. The reason that is it's due to a technical limitation where you actually can't use an app, or you can't have an app use your cellular account to send text messages. One reason is incurring data charges, and then there are some other technical issues surrounding it. So because it's not possible to do that, what we do is every user of the app is automatically assigned what we call a long code number. Now, the long code number, it looks like a phone number. It's 10 digits, but it obviously won't be your phone number. Now, in most cases, your long code number is going to be the same number for all contacts. In certain cases, it may be different for one or a couple of contacts within your list. Now, but at the same time, it will never change for a given contact. So meaning every time I message Herbert, it's going to come from that number. So to help avoid any confusion, we include that first message, or that message that says, by the way, it's me. This is my text-only business number I use. We include that in the first message you send to anyone. It acts like an email signature. You can't see it when you're typing the message, but the user will, or the recipient will see it when it comes. And it just lets them know to save that number under their contact list because it's always going to be the same from you. And once they do that, then it will show up as your name going forward. It's also good practice to let people know that. So if you've been communicating with somebody via your mobile number, let them know, hey, I'm going to switch and start communicating with you from an app provided by Lifevantage that helps me follow up and share things more effectively with people. Just letting you know, because it will come from a different number. So once you see it from that number, rest assured it is me. Save it under my contact, and you'll know it's me going forward. So that is long code. Let's move on to the next section of the app, messages. So down at the bottom, the second from the right, if I tap on messages, this part's very self-explanatory. It works very similar to the messages app or feature within your mobile device. Here on this main screen, you get a list of your messages from newest being at the top. You can see that the contact name is there. Time. You want to create a new message. In the upper right, where there's a square with the little pencil, you tap on that. In the to field, you tap plus and select from your contacts, or you can type them in. Now, I only have one contact, so let's say I'm going to send this to Herbert. You can add multiple contacts, one message, and what that does is it doesn't act like a group text or chat type message, meaning not everybody will see everybody's replies. What it does instead is if you add multiple people to a message, it starts multiple one-on-one conversations with them. So if I have Herbert in here, then you tap where it says say something to write your message. I'm going to say hello. Now, if you want to attach something, you can tap on the blue circle with the white plus sign to the left of where I'm typing here. And here I can attach a meeting invite, a piece of media like a video. I can attach a cart or an enrollment link. And other than that, that's basically messages. So once I've typed everything in, I tap on the blue arrow on the right, and that will send the message. I don't want to overload Herbert with messages, so I'm actually not going to send this one now, but that's how you compose a new message. If you want to cancel the message, you tap in the blue arrow in the upper left, and it will disappear. So within a given message, if I tap on this first message, now this is the first message that I sent to Herbert. When you are looking in a certain message, this uses what we call a threaded messaging display. It's exactly like a text message on your iPhone or your Android device. The messages going out will be in blue squares aligned on the right, and responses will be in white squares aligned on the left. All of the conversation will be in this one screen. So if you've been communicating for a while, you may have to scroll up or down. But that is how you message a certain person. Well, let's go out of that. That's messages. The next section we're going to have a look at is the plus button down on the bottom in the middle. This is what we call the quick start menu. If you open it, here are the four kind of most used features in the app. Now, there are multiple ways to do all of these things. For example, I already showed at the beginning of this demo how to add a contact from the deck of cards. You can also just go straight here if you want to add a contact. Let's look now at sharing a cart. I assure you that this is the fastest, easiest way to share a cart available today. You tap share a cart, you come to this screen. These are what we call our featured carts. So these are added by us here at corporate. They're the most frequently shared carts, so we figured it's best, it's convenient to just place them right here at the beginning so that people can find them easily. To share a cart, you tap on it. So I'm going to tap on the Vitality stack. Up pops this screen. You can see down on the lower left the retail price and monthly, and then down on the right, the number of items. Now, to attach the cart, you just tap on the big blue button that says attach cart or the blue text in the upper right that says attach. Once you do that, you select the recipient. I'm going to say Herbert because that's my only contact. And then we're back to the composer. And we've written here for you, here's the perfect cart for you. You can change that message if you want. If you want to see again what's in the cart, again, just like the video, you tap on the white bar in the middle. Keyboard will disappear, and now you can see there's an image of the Vitality stack. If you tap see your cart, it gives you more information on it. But once you're done there, you go ahead and send it. And what will happen is the recipient will receive your message, whether you have them as a text person or email. So in this case, Herbert will receive the text. Inside of it will be a link. When he taps on that link, he'll go straight to the checkout page with those items already in the cart. So this works exactly like sharing a cart from your replicated site. The best way to explain it is if you go to a grocery store and you have a cart, you go through all the aisles and you place a bunch of products in the cart, and then you wait in line, you get to the cashier, they scan all the items, and right before you're ready to pay, you walk away from the cart and the actual customer comes in, swipes their card and walks out with their groceries. That's basically an explanation of how, or that's an example sort of, metaphor, if you will, of how the share a cart feature works. So once they go to that page, all they'll have to do is enter their card information.
Yeah, Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah, Herbert. Yeah, just want to let you know I received it, and the text says your sponsor is, and has your name, Ryan Baltz, and then it has the it has the checkout, the product, the retail price, the wholesale price, and you check which one you want, and then you fill in your information and go from there.
Exactly. So
it even has the monthly shipping date for the subscription.
Great, exactly. So, yep. Thank you for mentioning that. Basically, they'll enter in their card information, they'll select their auto ship date, and complete the transaction, and they'll be on their way. So that is sharing the cart. Now, obviously, you can share more products than just the featured cart. So if I tap the arrow in the upper left to go back, if you want to create a cart with whatever products you want in it, in the upper right, where it says new in blue text, you tap on that. The second line down where it says product, you select add product, and up pops the entire product list. So let's say that Herbert is interested in Axio green grape. You tap on the product, you've got to this screen, which gives you a bit more information. Down at the bottom, where you see the one with the minus sign on the left of it and the plus sign on the right, you can change the quantity. So let's say Herbert wants 3 Axio green grapes. Once I have that set to 3, I tap add. And let's say he also wants Protandim Dual Synergizer. He only wants 1 bottle. No, he wants 2 of those. So I'll make it 2. Tap add. Once you're finished adding all the products you want in the cart, you tap the blue arrow in the upper left. That brings me here to the cart page, where I can see the Axio Green Grape, the Protandim Dual Synergizer. Next to each one, you'll see the blue bubble with the 3 on Axio, the 2 on Protandim. That's the quantity that I ordered for Herbert. Down at the bottom now you can see the total retail cost, the monthly subscription cost, and then it says 5 items. So that's how you create a cart, and then once you're finished, you just tap attach, select the contact, and send it the way I showed earlier. One very useful feature here is if you go down below the products under where it says options, it says save cart for future use. Now, if you find yourself frequently selling the same products or a combination of products, or you tend to deal with customers who are interested in the same thing, go in here, create a cart, and tap this option by selecting that little toggle button on the right. Once you do that, a line below it appears that says cart name. Now, I'm going to name this cart. You can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to call this Herbert's cart. And then go ahead and attach it. Now, what that did is that created a cart, a shared cart for me that's saved. So now when I go back to the main screen where it says featured and saved on the top, if I select saved on the top on the right, up pops all of my shared carts. So as you can see right there is Herbert's cart. So this is a very handy way to be able to save your own carts for quick access in the future. Now, the recipient, when they get your message, it won't say the name of the cart. So name them whatever you want, whatever helps you remember what's in the cart or who it's for. So that is sharing carts. The next thing we'll look at under the send or the quick start menu is the sending enrollment link. Now, just like carts, I assure you, this is by far the fastest way to enroll somebody. It's even much faster than sharing a cart. If you tap send enrollment link, up pops your list of contacts. I select Herbert. I tap next in the upper right. Up pops this menu that says, I'm excited to start working with you. Let's get started by clicking this link. You can edit whatever you want there, except you can't edit past the word link. So where it says HTTP, that needs to go across just as it's written. You can add an attachment here. So if I tap add attachment in the middle on the left, I can attach a video or a piece of media. And once I tap send via the green button or send in the upper right, this message will go through to Herbert. Once he opens it, there'll be a link. When he taps on the link, he'll go straight to the enrollment form. Now, one very a good benefit or an advantage of using the app to enroll is because all of the contact information I have stored for Herbert in the app will be copied over into the form. So where I have his first and last name, his email address, his phone number, all of that will already be in the form for him. He'll just need to fill out the missing information, agree to the terms, select his enrollment pack, and pay, and he'll be all set and enrolled. And even with his welcome email, upon enrolling, there'll be a link for him to go ahead and download the app and get started building his business. So that is the easiest way to enroll somebody. And it's, I hope you can now effectively do that from this app. So I'm going to cancel that message and go back out. So again, where I just showed you sharing cart and send enrollment links, there are multiple ways to do that in the app. The other one being contact with that interest level, meaning ready to purchase or ready to enroll, and a card in the deck that suggests you share a cart or send an enrollment link with. And when you get those cards, if you tap on the action button, you'll go through the same process that I just demonstrated. So that's the quick start menu. The next section we'll look at is people. Down on the bottom, just to the right of the plus button, if I select people, I get these options. If I tap on network, that's how I get to the full list of contacts that I have saved in the app. Now, again, I only have Herbert, and I'm using a demo account. It's a kind of a fake distributor account for this presentation today, so I don't actually have any customers or distributors in my organization. But for those of you who do, you'll notice when you tap on customers at the top or distributors on the top, you'll see contacts in there. And that's because we automatically add all of your customers and your organization contacts for you the first time you log into the app. What I mean by organization contacts are your distributor contacts. That's your sponsor, anybody you personally sponsor, and anybody you personally enrolled. So again, I'm using a fake account. I don't have any customers or distributors, but for those of you who do, you'll see contacts there. Now, a few things about contacts. When you tap on a contact, you'll see this information. Now, below the name where you see orders, activity info, you can see there's a lot of the same information that was on the form when I added Herbert. If I tap edit in the upper right, I can change any of that information. Now, to the left of that where it says orders, if I tap on orders, this will show me all the orders that Herbert has made through the app or has purchased because I've sent it to him through the app. And then activity, the option in the middle, this shows all the activity I've done with Herbert in the app. So you can see today at the top, I created an enrollment link. Below that, I sent a message, shared a cart, all the way down to when I added Herbert as a contact. So this is a good place to go if you want to kind of get a refresher on what has happened in the past with that contact so that you can effectively follow up with them and pick up right where you left off. So that's looking at a contact. If we go back to people at the beginning, down the bottom where it says me, if I select me, this is my contact card. Now you'll notice there's some more information here, mainly the business option below my name. Business is where it will show your volume and your legs, your information on legs. So again, I'm using a fake account. I don't actually have a personal volume. But for those of you who do, you'll see two bars, a graph there below it. If you swipe to the left on personal volume, you'll go to organizational volume. Now, under both of these, you'll see two bars. On the right is the current month. The bar on the left is the previous month. They'll both have several numbers on them. In the previous month on the left, the number at the top will be the actual volume for last month. And the number on the top of the current month will be the projected volume for this month, for the current month. The number at the bottom or below the projected volume for the current month is the actual volume on whatever day you're looking at it. And then you'll see a number on the same level as that on the previous month. And what that is that is the volume of the same day on the previous month. So that's a good way to compare month to month on the same day how your volume is. If you scroll down below volume, you'll see your legs. That's your top 4 legs and their distribution percentages. So that is the kind of the business performance information we have in the app for you. Now, one thing to note in your card is to the right of your name, where for mine says Ryan Baltz, then it says you in the blue square. Then there are the 3 blue dots. If you tap on those, this is where you have your support options, so you can email customer support from the app. You can report an issue. You can send feedback. Below that where it says version 1.65.13, that tells you what version of the app you are using. One thing to note here is we release new updates to this app every 2 weeks. And the reason we do that is because that allows us to release new features in the app and release any fixes to any bugs that have been in the previous builds. So it's a good idea to regularly go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and make sure that you have the most recent version of the app downloaded. Below that, you can log out if you'd like. And then the next time you launch the app, you'll have to log back in. So that is people. So the last section we're going to look at here today is media. Down at the bottom, all the way on the right, if I tap on media, I'm brought to this screen. Now this is where we have all of the curated compliance content from corporate. So all of the product videos that we produced, all of the master tracks or pro audio episodes are in here. They're all sorted into these groups like training, presenting. You have the product categories, business, science. I'm not going to go into all these categories, but I'll go into a few to show you how media works. If I go into training, these first 2 items that appear are actually PowerPoint presentations. So in this section of the app, we can store videos, audio files like pro audio episodes. We can store documents like PDFs or PowerPoint presentations, or we can store images. So in this case, these are the PowerPoint presentations that the FAB has produced recently that you can use for training or presenting. There's a short and a full version of it. Below this are pro audio episodes. So they're all stored in here. There's a lot of them, so I'll scroll through them. Once you get to these, so you see here where there's how to invite to a meeting, and it's 1 minute and 9 seconds long, or enrollment, 1 minute and 33 seconds long, and you can see Ryan Goodwin there. These are actually the helper text videos that I was referring to earlier that appear when you tap on the blue text links throughout the app. So you can learn more that way when you're in the cards, or you can come here to the training section, and they're all here if you want to learn. These are short videos that give you just kind of a training by topic on the app. Keep scrolling through the pro audio episodes. You get, these are documents, so these are training documents here. These are the original videos that were in the deck of cards, so these are training videos. Very useful here to go and reference. So that's the training section. The next section, let's go to a product section like True Science. So if I go to True Science, here at the top I've got the hair care system study. That's a document. I've got the product video, the launch video, the hair game elevated video. I've got product information sheets, FAQs, etc. The way these work is, let's say you're interested in a certain piece of media. So let's tap on the launch video here. When you tap on the image, you're brought to this screen. If I tap on the image again, it's going to play the video for me in the app. On the upper right where you see the star, if I tap on the star and now make it white, I've now marked that video or that piece of media as a favorite. And what that will do is that will store it now in this. When you go back to the main media screen, there's a folder that says favorites there, the light blue one on the right. If you tap on that, here's where all your favorites are stored. So I just marked the hair care launch video as a favorite. So this is a very useful way. So if there's, a certain pro audio episode that you like to listen to, or if there's a certain video that you find really effective to share with people, go in the media library, mark it as a favorite, and it will be stored here. This is kind of like your personal space within the media library. So you'll be able to quickly go and find it. Now, the other thing I'll show you about media is when you tap on it again, the square in the upper right with the arrow coming out of the top of it, that's how you share a piece of media. So tap on that. You can share it via message, which would be text message or email, whatever you have set for the contact, or social sharing. And at this point, social sharing is limited to, it will post the piece of media to whatever social media apps you have installed on your device. Well, not whatever. Right now, it currently goes to WhatsApp, Facebook, and I believe that may be it. But what it will do is it will post it directly to the profile of the account that you're logged into via the app on your phone. So social media is actually one area that we're actually working right now to build a lot more features within for the app. But right now you can simply share it to your profile page by selecting social sharing. So as a bit of a recap, that's the third way now that I've demonstrated that you can share media, video or a piece of media from the app. The first being adding somebody with an level of interested but not ready yet, following what the card asks you to do, and sharing the video with them that way. The second being tapping on the attach link within a message, the blue circle with the white plus button. And then the third being going straight to the media library, finding the piece of media you want to share, and tapping on the square in the upper right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the demonstration of the Lifevantage app. I know I covered a lot there. I hope you learned something from it, but this obviously has been recorded, so you should have this as a reference to go back to. But at this point, I can open it up to any questions anybody might have. All right. Well, if we don't have any questions,
let me see if we have any in the chat.
Sorry.
I'm just checking the chat.
Sure.
Some of the questions are, is the app available to people outside the United States?
Right now, it's available in Australia and Canada. The next market we'll be launching is Japan, and that will be we're slated to launch in Japan in February, and then we'll be launching in the rest of our global markets. We anticipate before the end of the calendar year 2019.
Okay. Let's see, can you do? All right. Let's see. Becky Popper says, what if your phone says your device isn't compatible with this version?
If you get a message like that, so the app is actually, it doesn't work on compatibility. You know, it doesn't, compatibility is not based on the phone you're using. It's based on whatever version of the operating system you're using. So whether that's your Apple operating system or your Android operating system. So it does require, we do support back, I think, the last 5 versions of each operating system. But if your device is too old to support the last 5 versions of the operating system, then unfortunately you won't be able to use the app on that device. So if you do get a message like that, unfortunately, I think you would need to upgrade or purchase a more recent device in order to use it.
Okay. Alan said, is there a tie-in between the app and LinkedIn yet?
There is not. However, I can definitely see us adding integration with LinkedIn from a social sharing standpoint in the future.
Okay. And is there a monthly fee?
There is not. The app is free to anybody who is a Lifevantage distributor. So the cost of the app for us to develop and maintain it is included in your subscription, in your enrollment pack.
Okay. Let's see. Debbie says, will we now automatically get as the, I guess, PP updates, or must we delete the app and reinstall it to get the updates?
I'm not sure what they mean by PP updates.
Okay. So, well, let's just say if you have the old app, do you have to delete that one and then reinstall it to get any updates?
Oh, that's a really good question. So typically, no. You can just go to the App Store, to Google Play Store, and if it says get or update the app, that means you need to tap on that to install the most recent version, but you don't need to delete the version you have. However,
Okay.
there was a version we released just before the global event that wasn't compatible with the previous version. So there was a bug in that version that in order to get around it, people did have to delete their recent version of the app and install a new one. So if you haven't updated your app for a while now, that might be a good idea to just go ahead and delete it and then download it again. But typically you won't need to do that.
Okay, let's see. Betty Lou asks, can you place your own order through the app?
You cannot. Right now the app is for sharing with a customer.
Okay. All right, so custom app. And then Tom from Canada says, what is the name of the app?
The name of the app is Lifevantage.
Okay. I noticed when Tom, I think you'd mentioned it was the first one. And when I went back to check that, there was another app ahead of it. And then there was another app said Lifevantage Corporate. And so Lifevantage Developer. So the one that it's really, I think that, well, I'm on an iPhone, so it was the second one, but the Lifevantage app. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Can you still see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look.
Uh-huh.
Lifevantage. There it is right there. It's the first app on top.
Okay, so yours came up on top. Okay, good. All right. All right, well, folks, let me see. We have, let me just make sure that I've covered as many questions as I could. Okay, these are just some other questions. Okay, is there a way to add already enrolled? I guess.
Already enrolled will automatically be added for you.
Okay, all right. And can people respond to the 858 number? Yeah.
Yes, they can't call it. That's why it says it's a text-only number. But when they respond to those texts, it will show up in the thread conversation in the app.
Okay. All right. And Anne asks, is it required to send the enrollment link after the shopping cart for customers?
No, they're two separate activities in the app. You either send an enrollment link or you send a card.
Okay. And the last one, is there a recording of this training? I think, Ryan, you've done such a good job that even I understood it. That's a great one. So is there, I guess that there will be a recording. Well, we have the recording here. That'll be a part of the virtual Super Saturday today. Is there a recording yet with Lifevantage that has the same clarity that you gave it?
There is actually. If you go to YouTube and you search for Lifevantage app, there's a series of videos. They're kind of broken down a little bit more into different sections of the app. Same training that I went through.
Okay.
That's a good question, actually. I want to also mention that if you run into any problems with the app, if for some reason you're encountering some sort of a bug or an error in the app, or if your app, if you need some help, you can always email appsupport@lifevantage.com, and that goes straight to me and the engineering team, and we'll jump on it and get you sorted.
Okay, so that's app support, AppSupport @lifevantage.com.
That's right.
Okay, well, Ryan, thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.
And I'll tell you something, people were really interested in this, and very few people got off. And so I'll just say this is a real testament that this is something that people really wanted to know about. And we thank you so very, very much for being a part of it and for sharing it with us. And let's see if I can, okay, so you have to unscreen share, and then we'll go back to our main one.
All right.
Okay, folks.
All
wow.
Right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and jump off now, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Ryan.
You bet.
All righty. Well, folks, let me tell you, I am just pleased and amazed that so many people stayed on. So clearly there is a lot of interest in the app and in what we've done today. I want to thank all of our presenters, Joe and Trish Houston, Debbie Crowell, Paula Rowlands, April Wagner, Ryan Baltz, and of course, the real trooper behind it all, Jill. I'm so accustomed to saying Gabe and Jill Pearson, But Jill Pearson, you put this thing together. Thank you so much, Jill. All of you, it's been a great day sharing. I think everyone has gotten a great value from this presentation. We'll see it is recorded and will be available in our team back office. And I recommend that you make it a great day, make it a great week. And let's close out with a couple of calls to action. Number one, let's use December as a great month to reconnect with family and friends and people to add to that prospect list that Ryan was just talking about. You know, you don't need to jump on them, but if you can just make a list and tell them that you have something incredible you need to talk to them about. But this is a great period to reconnect with family and friends. As you begin to plan for the holidays, make a list of some of the people that you really want to, you know, connect with. You know, when we get together, we have an idea who we're going to be seeing. But if you put a list of people you want to meet, you want to get together with, I think it'll be very helpful to use this month to up your game and to really, really build your prospect list. Put the pedal to the metal. I remember Gabe made one of their first, Gabe and Jill made one of their big advancements in the month of December. I think Jill and Skip Campbell hit Pro 10 in December. So there is, I think it's negative thinking to say, oh, December is a month that nobody's going to be interested. December is a month that people are going to be thinking about, wow, I wish I had more money to give Christmas gifts. Wow, January is coming and I'm going to have to pay for all this stuff. So to use this month, December, as a way to put new people into business, to reach out to folks, to put at least 2 or 3 people into business this month. And the reason is because when you start January, you have a whole crew to run with, and you have an elite academy coming up in Charleston, South Carolina in February. So put the pedal to the metal in December, get together with your teams as we were sharing on here earlier. I think it was Paula was talking about building your teams and putting your teams in place. Gather your teams, do a team activity. You know, a lot of our groups get together and celebrate for the holidays, those who are in certain areas. And when you do that, reach out to some of the others, because with the technology now, you can have a party in Wilmington and have people from all around the world participate. And finally, the main thing is this: get busy. You know, parked cars don't go anywhere. When you put the pedal to the metal, shoot for the stars. The worst that can happen is you land on the moon. This is Dr. Herbert Harris saying thank you so much for joining us, for being with us. And folks, make this the December to remember by building your business incredibly large. So it is. Remember this: the best is yet to come.